The diameter of the eye of the cyclone is about 50 kilometers, is what the IMD is saying. And of course, they've released a lot of other details of what can be expected as far as the wind speeds are concerned and more. So this is a severe cyclonic storm. 70 kilometers from Jhagav, wind speed is 60 to 80 kilometers. And it is reaching the Kutch region. The landfall process has started. We'll go across to our colleagues also joining us from various areas in Gujarat and more. The IMD has just now announced that by midnight, the cyclone will be over land. So it's going to be a process that's going to take a few hours as we speak. And then, of course, we'll have to assess what is the kind of damage that the Cyclone Biparjoy is able to make. So we've just heard from the IMD just a short while ago. As I said, the landfall process has begun in Saurashtra. It is approaching the Kutch region. But by the time it is midnight, that's when it is going to be over land properly. The wind speeds are expected to be in the 120 kilometers per hour region. And the IMD chief has also said that there is a dangerous period as far as all are concerned till midnight. That's when the worst could be expected. Post that, of course, once it crosses over land, it is expected to lose steam. Very heavy rainfall is expected in few parts. We're just hoping that all the preparations that have been made are going to be sufficient, despite the predictions that have been made for the cyclone. And there is going to be minimal damage to at least life and limb and even property as much as possible. But some of those visuals that you're seeing, of course, they give you a sense of what is possible as this severe cyclone hits the western coastline of India. We'll try and go across to more of our colleagues who are tracking the latest that is coming in. But the IMD has announced that by midnight, the cyclone will be over land. And actually, the period up till midnight tonight is the most dangerous period. My colleague Vinaya is also joining us. Vinaya has been keeping a track of the landfall that is approaching from Dwarka. Other colleagues are also joining us from in and around Dwarka and other states. But Vinaya, coming to you, just give us a sense of what the conditions are like now as the landfall has begun and is, of course, the cyclone is quickly approaching Kutch and Saurashtra.
Well, we are in Dwarka, and let me get you some dramatic visuals of what havoc the cyclone is wreaking here. This is the entry of a big hotel here in Dwarka, and as you can see, there is total destruction happening right in front of you. This was a canopy that was tied over the glass entrance of this hotel, and as you can see, just a few seconds before this broadcast started, a few metal poles have come clinging down, and we are seeing that the several bamboos that were tied around have completely loosened up, and this gate is about to fly any minute. Now look at the violent speed of the winds, because of which we are seeing that the entire entry to this hotel has completely been blocked because of the canopy that was constructed, that has been completely brought down by the violent winds that are only surging. So the gate has just flown past us. Unfortunately, a bull came in the way of the way in which the gate came down right now. We are seeing that the wind speeds have only been surging for the last few hours. It has grown particularly worse in the last 1 hour or so, where we are seeing that wind speeds have crossed over 70 kilometers per hour, and right now the sea has also turned violent. The swelling in the sea is quite high. In fact, we can see huge waves from the sea. White is the color of the sea right now, as huge waves have been rushing towards the coastline. but the visibility is low. I am not very sure if I will be able to show you the visuals of the violent sea, but as of now the situation here where we are standing is only worsening. Sea water is entering our eyes even as we are lashed by the incessant rainfall that continues. It is likely that the bamboos that are constructed here will further come down. Now, if I request my video journalist to show to you the live visuals of this whole canopy collapsing because of the violent winds. We saw the first lot, the way it came around, and we just had to duck and run away from the side in order to protect ourselves. Right now you can see that the second lot is also out. The bamboos are trying to pull into the glass, even as the staff is trying to see that there isn't further damage to the glass structure there. So as of now, the violent winds, this is just an example of how terrible the situation is. These dramatic visuals show you the kind of ravages that are likely in other places around the coast of Gujarat as well, even as the landfall of Cyclone Biporjoy has already begun. Right now, the staff of the hotel are trying to make sure that this entire bamboo canopy is at least kept in a way that it won't fly out, but that is not possible. We are right now seeing the wind speeds are only surging, though the rain has abated a bit.
Right.
But it is not possible in this wind speed to stand straight. Hey! So, these are the visuals from Dwarka, where the landfall has led to an increase in the wind speed, though rains have abated. The skies are overcast, and there is a continuous effort by the people here to try and make sure that there isn't any further damage to the property. Several places where trees have fallen, sheds of hutments have flown away. Also, poles have come down, and that is where the administration will have to gear up in order to make sure that normalcy is restored. As of now, the IMD tells us that this kind of wind speed is likely to continue for a few hours till midnight, and it's likely that this kind of violent climatic situation will continue well past a few hours by now. But as of now, we are bearing the full brunt of Cyclone Biparjoy here at Dwarka, even as the landfall has begun, and as we can see that the violent winds are bringing down several structures. It has been, one can imagine the position of the situation of the several hutments in the low-lying areas. Even as people are trying to move about, trying to reduce the damage, it is becoming increasingly difficult for normal movement. You can see that the road is completely stranded, that the road is completely empty, and that the very few people who are moving about. Yes, Cyclone Biporjoy has started its landfall, and the impact can be felt throughout the coastal belt. Saurashtra Kutch continues to be on red alert. We here at Devbhoomi Dwarka are particularly one of the worst hit places. Even as the wind speeds continue to increase. समय इतना नजदीक आ रहा है तो मैं sorry.
Vinaya, the wind speeds seem to be increasing and it is becoming... Vinaya, I'm not sure if you can hear me. The conditions there look very severe. The wind speeds seem to be increasing and it looks like all of you media personnel, including yourself, and I see some around you, need to maybe get to some sort of a safer situation. Is there some arrangement around you? What do you see? How many people are there and what are the kind of arrangements for you? Because it looks like the wind conditions are becoming much, much worse now.
Well, there are only a few of us in terms of the media teams which are going on with the continuous coverage of Cyclone Biporjoy, and that is where we see we are trying to support each other in order to make sure that viewers of various channels continuously get to see the live images of the kind of catastrophe that is happening due to Cyclone Biparjoy. As you can see, the condition is only growing precarious. By each passing minute, it is difficult to maintain balance. Right now, I had to be helped by two other media personnel in order to get back to my own feet because the wind was continuously pushing, and not just that, the earpiece too wouldn't stay in its place, it just flew away. So yes, this is a bit of a challenging situation here, and you know, to experience the wrath of nature in this particular manner at a time when the landfall of Cyclone Biparjoy has already begun is quite an experience.
ये जो बोट था जहाँ पर डेंजर लगा हुआ है वो टूट के विकास आप इस तरफ आ जाइए क्योंकि पत्थर बहुत तेजी से लगा है। यहाँ पर जो छोटे छोटे पत्थर हैं वो लग रहे हैं, लेकिन ये खतरनाक है। पूरा इलाका इस वक्त वीरान नजर आ रहा है, सुनसान है, यहाँ पर किसी की भी मौजूदगी नहीं है। ये पेड़ आप देख लीजिए, नारियल के पेड़ भी यहाँ पर बहुत ज्यादा हैं, और वो लहरें जो मंदिर का प्रांगण है वहां तक पहुंची है, क्योंकि भगवान श्री कृष्ण की ये नगरी है और यहाँ पर मंदिर ही मंदिर है। द्वारकाधीश मंदिर में 2 झंडे लगाए गए थे। हालांकि अब जो ये दूसरा मंदिर है, ये मंदिर का प्रांगण है, उस तरफ सूर्य मंदिर है, वो देखिए वो लहरें। ये दूर से हम आपको तस्वीर दिखा देते हैं न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया पर। जैसा कि मौसम विभाग की तरफ से कहा जा रहा था, ये लहरें अब क्योंकि लैंडफॉल हो चुका है और जैसा कि लैंडफॉल में होता है और जो मौसम विभाग ने अनुमान जताया था वैसा ही होता हुआ इस वक्त नजर आ रहा है। बहुत मुश्किल है हमारे लिए यहाँ से बोल पाना भी, क्योंकि अब बोलने में भी दिक्कत हो रही है। आप तक तस्वीरें पहुंचाना वाकई बेहद मुश्किल है। ये एक तरफ समुद्र है जिसकी लहरें हैं जो सब कुछ चीर देने को आमादा है, और जो पानी भरेगा उसके बाद जो रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन शुरू होगा वो तो अलग होगा। लेकिन गुजरात में क्योंकि 8 जिले सबसे ज्यादा प्रभावित होंगे, जिसमें एक जिला द्वारका जहां पर मैं मौजूद हूं, बाकी मेरे सहयोगी इस वक्त मौजूद है कच्छ में, वो भी वहां पर भी रेड अलर्ट है और खड़े होने में भी दिक्कत हो रही है। इसलिए मैं बैठ करके आप तक तस्वीरें यहाँ से पहुंचाती हूँ। विकास, आप तस्वीरें दिखाते रहिए क्योंकि हवा का रुख काफी ज्यादा है। जैसे ही हवा थोड़ी कम होती है तब हम भी राहत की सांस लेते हैं, लेकिन अभी थोड़ी सी यहाँ पर लेवल डाउन होता हुआ नजर आ रहा है। यानी कि जब रफ्तार जो है 80 से 100 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटे की है, अगर वो थोड़ी सी भी डाउन हो रही है तो फिर कम से कम हम खड़े होकर के अपने आप को बैलेंस करके आप तक हम तस्वीरें पहुंचा रहे हैं। ये आप देखिए कि ऐसा तूफान, क्योंकि हमने कई लोगों से बात की है, वो कह रहे हैं अपने जीवन में उन्होंने ऐसा तूफान अनुभव नहीं किया है।
The conditions are definitely getting much worse, and as the IMD has said a short while ago, when the landfall process began, the period till midnight is going to be the most precarious and dangerous one. Vinaya, very quickly coming back to you as well, just give us an overall sense of the kind of damage that the authorities anticipate, especially in the first few hours of the landfall. What is it that they have prepared for?
Well, there are several aspects to this. The way they have prepared is firstly the medical emergency or the medical exigency, because remember, when such a cyclone comes, there are unprecedented and unforeseen circumstances. So if there is any accident, if there is any roof fall, if there are any structures that collapse, in that condition, the hospitals have to be equipped, especially at a time when there is likely to be electricity outage as well. In Dwarka, where we are experiencing the impact of the landfall, there already is an electricity outage, and that is why you know, things have to operate on generator wherever possible. So firstly, it is the medical emergency situations that have to be put in place. That is where the administration says that it has been able to make sure that the hospitals are well equipped with respect to the several facilities that have been provided. Most importantly, what the administration says is that it has tried to make sure that blood supply is adequately provided in several hospitals across the coastal areas, and that in case of any emergency there should not be any shortage of blood. The doctors have been asked to be on the standby. Several pregnant women have been moved to the hospital in advance, at a time when their expected due date is around a week from here, in order to make sure that there is no loss of life in that circumstance as well. With respect to infrastructure, there is expected to be a lot of loss and damage to properties. Several electricity poles are expected to come down. Several structures may also have to bear the impact of the growing cyclone, and in that condition we are seeing that apart from the NDRF teams, several state administration machineries are also on the standby with several equipments. So land moving machines have been kept in place, electric cutters have been put in place, and we are seeing that it has been made sure that several such measures are being taken so that even after the structures come down, there is immediate measures that are put in place to make sure that the structures are immediately taken out of the way so that they do not hamper any further movement. With respect to transport, we are seeing that state transport buses, their services stand suspended till tomorrow, and that is why people have been asked to stay away from the streets. Section 144 has been imposed so that people do not end up coming on the streets, thereby damaging their own, putting their own lives at risk.